Yes, guys, good evening, one and all. Welcome to another very special edition of the R&R Revelation Show. I am Rob, not only am I joined by my partner, Reese. I am delighted to introduce Stevenage, one and only Luca fan. How are we? Wait, you okay? What a mouthful that was.
Yeah, I'm all good, thanks, Rob. No, delighted to be on. Thanks for inviting me on. Really an honour. Yeah, looking forward to talking all about the game. Should be good fun.
100%. Reese, hope you're doing well, mate.
Yeah, all good. Nice Christmas as well. It's cold, only. That's a problem.
Yeah, nice to get back at it, though. Get back to the shows, mate. So, no, thank you all for tuning in as well. I know, obviously, you Christmas time and all that, so appreciate you taking time out of your evening to share with us. And yeah, Luca, it's all ours, mate. The pleasure is all ours. So thank you for taking your time with us. As I touched upon before we went on, plan of attack is talk a little bit about you, mate. How you've gone to doing your shows and things like that as well. Talk about obviously Stevenage, and of course then most importantly talk about the game as well and going forward. But guys, yeah, get your questions, comments in. Slam them in there. We'll get through as many as we possibly can. But yeah, let's dive straight in then. So, Luca, again, welcome, mate. So, if you can share for ourselves and our wonderful audience, you can tell us a little bit about yourself, how you got into the streaming side of things and Stevenage following, etc. And yeah, from the start, really, mate.
Well, so, I started in August, just when the season started, and I thought, I've been doing for the past year or so, just little previews and that, little reviews and stuff to our matches, and just to, give our fan base a different perspective to how we do it. And, because at Stevenage, there's not really anyone that's doing the stuff that I do, and something that's, deep dive analysis, in-depth content, and something that I feel our fan base deserves as our club's growing as well. So I wanted to give that fresh perspective on all the platforms, really. And I started on X, so basically just doing some deep dive match previews and also some reactions, doing player ratings and stuff, just something that the fan base could dive into after games and pre-game if they wanted to, and something there for them, really. And then I just transferred over to TikToks. There was a lot of people demanding that I go into video format, and that's been brilliant for me. I got a lot of traction from the reverse fixture when it was earlier this month. I got a lot of positive feedback from that, which I was delighted with. Hopefully same again, because I'll be releasing my previews tomorrow. Should be good. But yeah, it's brilliant. I love it, honestly. And a few months ago, I think it was start of November, I got invited to go on an episode of our main fan podcast. And then the episode after, I just became a co-host. I've been doing it ever since. Brilliant. And, I really, really enjoy it. I love just being that different perspective, giving that in-depth analysis that I feel like our club needs. And I love doing it, really. And I love to see how it goes.
Yeah, it's quality, mate. Like I said to you, that's how you came about. To my eye, originally was your analysis of the reverse fixture a week or so ago, a couple weeks ago, and I just thought you were class, like genuinely so good. And it's just the in depth you go to, the clear knowledge that you have was quality, mate. Because it's one thing, I think, knowing about your own team, but the in-depth knowledge that you have of the opposition team is a different gravy altogether. And yeah, in this class, mate. And we'll speak about. We'll obviously talk about where we can find your channel and stuff later on as well, of course. But no, it's wicked, mate. So fair play to you, man, considering obviously not been doing it for too long. Recently, just mere cogs in the Ace podcast and Cardiff City World machine. So to run with yourself, mate, is quality. So credit to you, man. Fair play. So talk Stevenage with me then, mate. Lifelong fan, or have you just stumbled across them from family, friends, etc.? Or
no, lifelong fan, but I started going in around 2017 was my first few games, and then I'm in my 4th year as a season ticket holder now. Because we have a wonderful little terrace that we obviously have, where it's a wonderful standing terrace. One of the best in English football, I'd say. Really, there's few of them, and it's a great staple about our club that we've got that. But yeah, this season's been really good actually. It's we've definitely pushed on from last season hugely with Alex Ravel's second stint at the club, because he had a stint in COVID, which is his first basically route into management, and it didn't go too well that stint in COVID. But last season we finished 14th, and and then this season's just really been on the up. He had a brilliant transfer window. He was allowed to get additions from Championship, lower Championship, high-end League One, and he's just moulded together this fantastic squad. We've got amazing depth in virtually every position, bar the attackers. And yeah, this season's just been a dream, really. We've had our inconsistencies, but we're in double figures in terms of wins this season. And after 20 games, that's incredible. So I think this season's been a dream so far, really. We're so happy to be in this position. We're just unhappy that we really haven't, won more points, because there's been games available to win more points. That's how well the season has gone in terms of our performance. But it's been brilliant this season, and just love games like this. I love games away to Cardiff, because I look at it and go, a few years ago, we got reprieved in COVID and we should have gone down to the National League, because Macclesfield went bust. We got reprieved, we could have gone down to the National League. So to be in this position where we are now and playing sides like yourselves is incredible, to be honest. And it's just a pleasure to be in these top of the tables, week in, week out. It's amazing, really.
Brilliant. You asked me, Reece, I was going to feel like you're on the edge of something there before I was going to say something.
No, my thing is he's low buffering on my end. I was going to ask Sola, how is Ravel as a manager? Because we had him as a player at Cardiff, and it didn't have the best times for us. He scored 1 or 2 goals, but he was a hard-working striker. Is he the same as a manager? Just wants his team running non-stop, go through everything?
He demands a lot. He does demand a lot. Like, we've got, especially this season, he's brought in wingers who drive at their man, get the crosses in. But he's been very selective in terms of his formation, how what players he wants to put in, because in terms of the wingers, they've got to do defensive work in his side. That's what they have to do. But he's a great manager, honestly, and he demands a lot. But, he has such a great relationship with the fans, because he played his last stint as a professional at us, was then assistant manager under Evans, and he's like family at the club, really, and that's kind of the relationship he has, and this season he's been really bold a lot. He's been really confident. He's showing the the values you need to be a top manager. He's showing early signs of that, because we had Stockport 3-1 away. That was a fantastic win and probably our best win of the season. But it came off a loss to you. We've got injuries in the squad. Players like Harvey White and Dan Kemp were out injured at that time. And he decides to completely alter formation and, go attacking and go and try and win the game. And he went with a very aggressive midfield, 2 wingers and a 10 and 1 striker. And he did, and he was so bold, he was confident. And, he just changed it and he believed in his team. And we went and won 3 points. So probably the best performance of the season. So this season, he's really pushed on. And I think he knows that this season is really important for us. It's probably that establishing season. How can we go? How can we get in that? Can we get a playoff position perhaps? Can we challenge? What can this squad do? Because he knows that in another season's time we can improve even more in terms of the squad and who we can buy and how we can improve, especially going forward maybe. But this season, he's really showed how good of a manager he is, and what he's learned from Steve Evans, especially. He hasn't copied his style at all. He's just got factors from Evans' style and just changed it and made it his own. That's what he's done. But yeah, this season, honestly, he's really doing well for himself, and he's setting the foundations. That is what he's doing for his style, for his tenure, for the next years or so, and he's doing really well this season. It's just, how do you do after January, post January? How do you what additions do you make in that window to then push on and try and get a position later on? That's what he's trying to work on, and I think he's realising that he's maybe some of the players he brought in, especially going forward, weren't the standard. So he's maybe trying to alter that this window. That's what's really important about this January transfer window. But honestly, this season he's improved so much, and he is improving day by day. That he's the perfect manager for the project we're trying to make, because he is the club. He knows what the club is, and he's the perfect man to have, honestly.
That's what I was going to ask you. That's one thing to come to mind. Owner-wise, forgive me, I'm not very familiar with you guys' owners. Are they a big fan of the long-term goal project work, or are they usually quite a quick-fire, if when results don't go their way, they'll cut ties and walk away?
Well, when Steve Evans obviously left the job and he went to Rotherham, which was quite poor because he left with 2 games to go in the League One season. So Phil Wallace, our chairman, was forced to obviously make a decision. Do I go with who I know in Ravel, build the trust in him, or do I go with a manager that's maybe proven? We were looking at managers that were really proven in League Two and doing well, and they were on the up. You thought you bring him into League One, show him a new environment, but he put the faith in Ravel at that moment, and he was like, long term, this is going to work, and this is the man I want leading our football club. It was a really big gamble at the time, a lot of people thought, and a lot of people didn't support it. A lot of people thought, we've got the money to do it. We go and get a manager that's proven, a bit like Steve Evans, and maybe push on. Look at the championship. What manager do we want? But we've gone Alex Ravel, and he's proven, really, because he knows the club so well. And Phil Wallace, he's a great chairman, and honestly, he runs the club so well, and he's fantastic, honestly. So he puts his trust in a manager that we all love, and we know what he's about and how much he loves his club, because he does everything for the club, and it's not for himself; it's for the benefit of the fans and the club. So his appointment was, a lot of people didn't think it was great at the time, but now I think it's worked really, really well, and he's proven why he deserved the job, in my opinion.
Brilliant.
You mentioned January just now. Is there any players you fear losing in January, and is there any 1 or 2 players you would like the club to look to sign in, maybe?
Well, January, I think I've spoken about it before. It's the attackers. We've got to improve in that forward line. We have to. I think 1 or 2 additions, but we need that number 9 that's got League One quality. We haven't had it for ages. Jamie Reid is obviously proven in League One. He gets you about 10 goals a season, and he had that season where he got to 25 goals in all competitions a few years ago. But as I've said to you, he's unreliable, and people moan at him every single week because his play style, fundamentally, he can play awfully in one game. He cannot make one pass. He'll score a goal, and that's what his game is like. And having him as the number 9 to push on, you're not going to get promoted to the Championship on his own. He won't provide you those goals to get you up, because we're not a goal-scoring team. We're probably one of the lowest scoring in the division, and we're where we are. So, and that's credit to our how good we are defensively. But we need that number 9. Honestly, we need that number 9, and that just an attacking player that's versatile and is going to get you goals. That's what we need. In terms of players that I'm fearful we're losing, there's a lot of rumours that Harvey White could be off to a Championship club next month, which would get money through the door. But we'd obviously need to strengthen for his replacement, and then for also striker reinforcements. But definitely attackers are the priority. The forward line has to be improved. Otherwise, we'll just keep spiraling down the table, in my opinion, because as good as our defence is, it's not going to win you all the games. You've got to be clinical going forward, and at the moment, we're not. And we've got one striker that's proven, and that's really it, as far as we go. But January's big, because it's our season that's relying on it. What happens in January, what we do in January, sets us out for the rest of the season. And if it's kind of what's happening now, we're just going to keep spiraling down slowly. We're not going to just slump down the table. But, we're not going to keep on. That's what we want to do. We want to stabilise as well. And if we we don't have those goals, you're just going to slip down the table.
Are you a club that operates pretty soon in January, or are you like us who do to the very last minute to bring your players in?
It's always different, because in some seasons, I think it's our promotion season, we got our business done really early because you could tell that we really needed to. I think if we're kind of unsure in a transfer window what we need, that's when we kind of go last minute. But this season, I'm that attacker with League One quality, and that's what we need to do. So this season, I think we'll be looking to get it done early, get it through the door, because this is our weaknesses at the moment. Put it as quickly as possible, in my opinion, because we're suffering. We are suffering. Like yesterday, we did not look like we were scoring results like that. No offence to them, but we should be going and winning away at Wimbledon, and we weren't even creating chances yesterday. That was the only problem. And we don't have that strike as good as Jamie Reid has been for us. His awareness in the box, the way that his link-up play at times, it's not that of a top level striker that's going to get you and push you up into those top places to get promoted. So that's what we kind of need to find. And I know it's really hard in the January window, because finding proven League One quality in this division in January is so hard, and you've got the money for it. But it's a gamble I think we should take if we want to be up there. I think it's a gamble we've got to take.
Do you guys have the money then? Are you quite well backed financial wise?
I think we're probably at the bottom end of the division. We've always make a profit. We always make a profit. One of those clubs in the summer that's at the end of the year has got a profit in terms of outgoings and incomings. But if Harvey White does go, because there's a lot of rumours about him going, that would be a significant gain. But I think we had Gaston Hadmay on loan from Charlton. He is apparently out to the end of the season, and we're paying him excess of $4,000, $5,000 a week, and with that, and we want to terminate his loan, and that's the type of thing where that could ruin your January if he isn't put off the books, because that's the amount of money you're giving for a player that isn't playing. So that's the type of thing we need to get out of the way. But if you have sales like Harvey White, or you have other sales like Dan Kemp's had a lot of interest, if you get a sale like that, we've got to spend it wisely. We have to. But we're not that type of club that's going to go, we've got this money, we're going to spend it all. We're not. We're a club that will be very safe with it. We'll only spend if we really need to. That's what we've been like. But it's a huge January, honestly. It's a huge January. What we do dictates our season, and that's the bottom line, really.
Do you think it'll be a case more bringing in loan players rather than actually splashing the cash, so to speak?
I think if Harvey White does go, then you do need to bring in a permanent replacement for him. But yeah, I think if there is a loan striker maybe available from a championship club, or then not getting minutes at a championship club, a loan signing from them or high-end League One, that would be really good. That would be really good for us, honestly. But yeah, but I think a loan signing suits it. But it's really, obviously, you might know it's really hard to get any signing in terms of a striker if you want to be at that top level in January. It's really hard to get that quality. But we need to gamble for it, in my opinion. We need to go out and not splash the cash, because that might not be there. But we do need to go out with that maybe loan signing and get the quality we need, in my opinion.
Well, you're there and thereabouts at the moment, so it's not like you're miles away from the playoffs. I think it'd almost be somewhat foolish not like go stupid with it, but not to invest in it and have a go at it, because that playoff position, when the automatics is way open. We'll go on the assumption that Cardiff will get promoted, but there's a good 7 or 8 teams easily that could get that top 2, get in the automatic promotion spot, let alone the playoffs as well. And it is going to be interesting, because it's going to be interesting what Cardiff do. I know we touched upon before we came on live. I think the main thing we'll see from Cardiff this window will be some of the fringe academy players going out on loan. There will be 1 or 2 coming in. Enquiries looks likely to be rejoining Cardiff on loan from United. The ex-Cardiff player himself, anyway, and left back, as I think all Cardiff fans know and are very aware. I think that is that's a must as well. But yeah, transfer window is dangerous, though, isn't it? That you can get lulled into doing stupid things and making stupid decisions, can't you? When you see other teams around you, all it takes is a bit of a chain reaction, and then everyone just follows suit and goes nuts like for it. But it's interesting.
Well, you've got come January, every English club slaps an extra zero on the price of the players, and we see it all the time. Clubs get desperate. You've got to look abroad. We looked abroad last year. We brought in Salek, who scored a handful of goals for us. Manswerk coming alone. Another good player. I think January you have to look abroad rather than in the English leagues. But again, it's a tough one, January, is because, like you said, that left back's needed. Plus a loan only for Began to have a rest, because he's not standing for us, Began, have to be fair. But yeah, it's January's such a tough thing. But again, if you've got a chance to strengthen, because playoffs are a lottery, let's be honest, you could be out of form and win the playoffs, or you could be the informed team and get absolutely slaughtered in the playoffs. There's fogs at the window when it comes to that. So if you've got a chance to go for it, you've got to take it. How do you think you'll set up against us now on Monday?
Well, I think we would probably revert back to a formation because we had the 3-5-2, which was deployed around that time. There's obviously a defensive formation when we had a lot of injuries. We started a 17-year-old against your academy product. That was his first start. That was how many injuries we had in that midfield department, especially. But in terms of the formation, there's been a lot of change recently from Ravel, because he's gone for the 3-5-2, the 4-2-3-1, and also the 4-3-3, which happened in the last game. So he's in terms of the opposition that we're playing against, that's formation reverts the approach. So he's very adaptable tactically. But it depends really, because away at Stockport, we weren't afraid to go at a team that is going to be very attacking, especially at home. Stockport are going to be incredibly attacking, and we decided to respond to that by just playing in a more attacking formation with wingers, with midfielders that are going to drive up the pitch. And it depends. I think in the reverse fixture it was different circumstances because of where we were at and the personnel that we had, because we were completely depleted for that game. So that's probably why we're different, definitely, because we'll definitely go for it more, and we've got players that can provide that spark. We've got Dan Kemp and Harvey White who are back fit. So there'll be that spark in midfield that will provide that link from defence to attack that we really need and we heavily missed in the reverse fixture. But, you'll see a lot of change. I think if you looked at our most recent games, maybe last 5 games, there's a lot of change in terms of formation and then personnel as well. It depends on the opposition as well. That's what I've touched on. The opposition suits the play that he's got, really. That's what he'll do. But yeah, it's anyone's guess, really.
What I'm going to do, gents, I'm going to jump to a quick ad a minute. When we come back, going to jump into the comments, and then we'll do a bit of a preview then for the game then, if that's okay with you. Just going to quickly smash it out. See you in a sec, guys.
Christmas is coming, and let's be honest, so is the stress. Family are popping over, friends are dipping in, and suddenly you're noticing everything that needs cleaning. The carpets, the oven, the bits you've been putting off all year round. But that's where How Low Services come in. They take the pressure off with one-off or regular domestic cleans, oven cleaning, carpet cleaning, steam cleaning, fumigation or sanitisation, so your home feels fresh, clean and guest ready. No panic cleaning, no late nights, just a home that you can be proud to open the door to. They cover all of South Wales area. How Low Services are reliable, professional, and they are here when you need them most. So this Christmas, you can focus on your guests, your family, and the moments that really matter the most. Let How Low Services handle the clean. Book now via their Facebook page or on WhatsApp using the number below, and enjoy a stress-free Christmas.
They always take on me, those two. Yeah, make sure you check them out, guys. I've got to be honest, I'm not entirely sure if that was the right one I was supposed to play, but there we are. So get your ovens clean, guys. Check them out.
Gone, so
oh, well, never mind. I'll have a row for that later. Right, let's jump to the comments quickly. Johnny, welcome, mate. Hope you're good. Going to be a tough game trying to break them down again. They didn't offer much going forward, but the defense is solid. Yeah. Wait, what was that stat you gave to us, me and Reese, before we went on? Was it like 6 games or something for we had a shot on target against you? Hear me?
Home game, the first 3 home games, we didn't concede a shot on target. We scored from the first shot on target. But yeah, it's been unbelievable this season. How defensively solid we've been, especially at home. I mean, the clean sheets we've had, the amount of clean sheets we've had are unbelievable. Philip Marshall in goal, he's been incredible in goal. He's been one of the goalkeepers of the season, definitely. But in a few games, he's had absolutely nothing to do because that's how dominant both of our centre-backs are in the air. They're incredibly dominant. And that is so crucial to us, and it's what we work off, basically. But yeah, it's a crazy stat, honestly. It's like something that a lot of us were talking about at the start of the season. Like, I don't know, has this ever happened before? Has this ever happened? But yeah, it was a fantastic start to the season, and we're always going to be a side that prides itself off clean sheets, being defensively solid. And you know, when we have a game like that, we really limit the opposition to absolutely nothing. Honestly, that's the type of thing we do. But yeah.
Brilliant. Welcome, Graham, mate. Hope you're good. Evening. Yes, it will be an interesting game. Welcome, Paul, buddy. Tough game, Stevenage. I'm not going to. It's a bit of a run. I'm not going to touch upon it for too long because there's a running theme in a group we got. There's a battle between 2 gentlemen, 2 grown men, by the way, Luca, mate, and who are saying Sarge is better than Robinson and Robinson is better than Sarge, etc. Yeah, it's one of those where it's just, it is what it is with them. Paul says, I think we're in a close one. Injuries are caught up with us, but we're still able to grind out results. 1-0 Cardiff if Stevenage park the bus. If they come to play 3-1 Cardiff. I'll do predictions and stuff in a bit. I will bring this one up from JT. Evening, mate. Hope you're good. I will bring up his second comment first. They've had 3-0 draws, the most boring side in the league. Stevenage don't know what to do. It's not a rugby game, even 3 points if we turn up. Stevenage are a rugby team. Apparently, I didn't even realise that was an area of their field that they do rugby, but apparently so. Anyway, moving on. Just jump straight into the game. You mentioned then, so are we gonna see a different team then to what we seen a couple of weeks ago in terms of the lineup? We've got a few more players back from injury.
Definitely in the midfield department, and I think virtually most of our fit 11, you'd say our best 11 is back. We had a few players like Dan Kemp returned. He was on the bench and played the last 20 against Wimbledon yesterday. But, in terms of the approach, as I said, it will suit what opposition we're playing, and away from home, we're not going to look to park the bus like we did, because that was probably a one-off game in my opinion because of the personnel we had. But it will all stem from how defensively solid we are. We will ride it out, and we probably will go for that counter-attacking approach. Because we know we've got players that can do it. We have got a few been getting a lot of minutes recently. He's fantastically technically gifted. All depends on the personnel and if our approach works. When our approach works, it's deadly, and it can challenge a lot of teams if they're off their game or something. We will, if I'm on it, we will take a chance. We will put in a really decent performance. But all depends on the game, honestly. If you turn up and you're fantastic goal scorer and stuff in form, it could be a game like that, like some of the fans have said. If we turn up and it's quite even, and it might suit us, our counter-attacking style. It might suit that. I think it all depends. Yeah.
Well, I looked at the lineup earlier from when we played you last time, and it was Willock and Joel in the 10 and out wide. And I think your pitch is a bit smaller now. I was a bit more narrow. I was a bit wider. So I think we will look to get Isaac out wide rather than Willock, and it'll be Kellerman in the 10. And Kellerman likes to find space. I think he enjoys finding space, and we'll look to play balls into space. He will. I think when we played it, we had problems getting the ball behind the defenders. And with Isaac's pace, I think that would be something we do target. I'm not sure how fast your fullbacks are. If they're quite pacey but I just remember when we played away, I think Joe struggled to get on the ball much for the game. He didn't really have his best game. Whereas Kellerman will look to try and exploit the spaces. I mean, we will look to get the early goal, obviously. I think we played our Exeter on Boxing Day, and it was very lethargic, but I'd say the first half we were quite poor. The second half there was this little spell of dominance, but we just seemed so reluctant to put balls in the boxes, and it's frustrating to watch. But hopefully it's a different lineup. I think hopefully from when we played away to Monday night now. Hopefully Isaac out wide on one wing, Kellerman in the 10, and then look to exploit the space in behind. I think that would be our target if I'm honest to. And again, if Salik's up top, he likes to battle. Salik does, so he loves playing against the two big centre halves, getting kicked, leaving on foot himself. So
and then shouting when he doesn't get any fouls his way.
Well, again, you said about the count up there now, and I think Lee Grant said it. Cardiff have faced more chances from the counter than any other team. It's just it's how we play. Our centre halves are up on the halfway line. We're right for the counter, so it will be just an interesting game. To be fair, I think.
100%. Yeah, it's so difficult. Do you reckon will it be a sellout? Think, boys?
No, God no. Let's be honest. The closest we've had to a sellout was Chelsea, and that's what the recent years. We had Swansea at home. We beat them 3-0 last year. Wasn't even close to a sellout. We just don't sell out again. We just don't sell out at all. It's not an attractive thing to come watch Cardiff. I don't know why. But we just don't sell out. We had 22,000 there on Saturday, Boxing Day. Sorry, it wasn't 22,000 really. It was more like 17 at best. I'd say it wasn't a sellout, but it's a Monday night game. We don't really have a big crowd in night games, but it'll be at least 15,000 there, I reckon, for us.
Stevenage take many there, mate.
Not too. There's probably there's been a state of debate over the last few weeks. People finger pointing at it because we're obviously high in the division and our away numbers ain't probably matching it for some people's liking. But we will bring a few. We'll bring a few to our standard, but obviously compared to other sides in the league, it's probably not the same as what you might expect. But there'll be a few, and we always make noise away from home. We always do. But atmosphere should be good. I mean, the atmosphere at home in the reverse fixture was really good. There was a lot I think it was close to a sellout in terms of our terrace. So, yeah, I'm expecting the same really for the reverse fixture. Should be good.
I hate to spoil the bubble, but there'll be no atmosphere. I don't know if you've been to Cardiff before, but they put the family stand next to the away fans. So it'll be small children next to the away fans, and our vocal stand is the opposite end of the pitch. And the sound doesn't travel. The sound generally doesn't travel, so there's literally no atmosphere like that. It's not, and that's one of the problems we've had as Cardiff fans is the lack of atmosphere. No matter how full it is there, it just doesn't travel back and forth. It doesn't.
Yeah, it's the new layout of the new stadium has absolutely destroyed that, haven't it? The layout of it all, the seating and everything is KO'd that for us, isn't it?
Yeah, and again, we've had clubs like Sunderland last year come down and they sold up the entire way end. Leeds sold up the entire way end. And everyone says the same thing. The atmosphere is so poor because you just can't hear each other. You'll hear the way fans chanting, but you won't know what they're saying, and the same with the home fans. They'll be shouting something and you can't hear it because we're just so far apart. And when you've literally got the family stand next to the way fans, again, you've got like 4-year-old kids, 7-year-old kids.
Yeah. Well,
it's hard for them to create an atmosphere against the away fans then.
No, like I went to the Bradford game with my boy, and like he couldn't get over it. Like we tried to do a little chant and stuff like, but miles apart because Bradford. I'm pretty certain Bradford sold out their away allocation, and obviously they never got a win as well. But it was so loud, literally from pre-game to post-game. Couldn't hear nothing else. In the family stand, all you could hear was the Bradford fans, literally all the way through it. Fair play to them.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. Again, like someone said, Graham in the chat, then it's not Indian Park, and it's not the Indian Park. You have 10,000 fans there, and the place is bouncing and rocking. The new stadium, we've had 25,000 fans there, and it's been awful. Like, I don't want to sound disrespectful, but I love these League One clubs with it's more compact the grounds are. I don't want to say smaller, they're more compact. So an atmosphere is generated a lot easier. Whereas ours, it just feels we're so far apart from everything. It kills anything it does.
Should we move on to some predictions then, lads?
Yeah.
Go on, Luca, as a guest, mate. Give us your prediction, bud.
Well, the thing is, considering all 4 of our league losses this season have been 1-0, so that's a stat to remember. It depends, really. I think if I'm being realistic, I'd go 1-0 you, especially because of the fashion of your result yesterday, in the way you picked up the win, not playing amazingly, but you picked up the win. And then our kind of frailties at the moment with goals and creating chances. But, if it does turn into one of those games where we come and play and we come with a great approach, and we look at it, on our game, there could be quite a few goals in it. So, prediction-wise, I'll go 1-1. I'll go 1-1 and I'll be optimistic.
You, Rob? Well, I don't want to sound disrespectful. I say for every single game, I go 3-0 win for every game. Not because I think we'll win 3-0, just I want us to win 3-0. But I've had it right twice. I've had Mansfield and I've had Rotherham right, so I got me right again. But yeah, I just think, I don't know, it's funny because again, when you play away from home, again, the pitches are more smaller, more compact. We have a hard time breaking teams down. When you're at home, it's a much bigger pitch, Cardiff is. And again, if we play to the way we can play, I'd fully back us to win 3-0. However, if Trott is out, we will concede chances. And it's again, I have faith in Turner, but when you got to play like Trott, who's just head and shoulders above. You know, it's just tough. But I want to say 3-0 win for Cardiff. 3-1 probably will probably happen, but I say 3-0. I'm hoping. 2-0, see you, Dimmy.
Oh, mate, I know. Damien Sealer scored 2-1. Now, I'm torn between two results here. I'm going to go... What's the most goals Stevenage have conceded in a game this season? Off the top of your head, Luke, if you can remember.
2, so twice this season. We did it a few games ago to Burton. So
yeah, okay. So I am gonna go 2-1 Cardiff, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's a 1-1 draw. But I would go 2-1 Cardiff.
Yeah, it's tough in there again. Like it's the best defence. It's probably not right for you to say 3-0 Cardiff. It's the best defence in the league. And
with a guest on, and you just
we can see more chances. Again, how many times in games have we had 20 shots against us? I know we face so many chances. So if you're clinical, there's goals there for you if you're clinical. And that's what we got to tell every team, really, because again, we concede so many chances. However, we've got to start being more clinical ourselves. And it's going to come a point, it's going to be a game this season where we actually do turn up and are clinical. And I think, like Friday against Exeter, Boxing Day, I think Ashford is hit the post. There was a couple of blocks in the box. So you're thinking, if one of them goes in, could go 2-3-0. Just you're hoping we show up anyway.
Eventually, Cardiff will spank someone like bad. It will happen eventually. I don't think this game is the one, given how defensively strong Stevenage are. Cardiff are due to hit someone for 5 or 6. I think it's quite fair to say it will happen eventually. I'd be very surprised if it is Stevenage, given their defence, but what a game that would be to do it like a team that never concedes shots, let alone goals. Gets spanked like that. You know what, mate? I would take a 1-0 and take the points, and thank you very much, because they're a good team, Stevenage, and I genuinely think, not just because Luke was on here, but I definitely think that they're going to be in and around the playoffs come the end of the season. Do you think, this is what I was going to ask you a little bit earlier on, Luca, mate, overachieving at the moment, would you say?
Definitely. I think, our defensive record has taken us so far. It really is. There's always this debate if we want to, between our fans, if we want to go up this season or if we want to keep building season upon the approach I'd take, because we've seen how far our defensive strengths can take us this season. In this half a season, it's taken us so far in the playoff positions, which is amazing. So overachieving a lot. But if you add that clinicality and that striking option that's per game, and we can score goals per game and not have these 0-0s like we've had yesterday, then we can definitely push on. So, yeah, we definitely are overachieving considering the size of who we are and season we had last season. But, the players we've got and the depth we've got, I think it's very understated. We've got a lot of high League One quality players who could also do it in the bottom end of the Championship as well. We have got some very, very reliable players, and we have had for a few years. We've been building that slowly, and I think we're starting to maybe get recognition for it. But we have obvious weaknesses, and I've touched upon them, and that's the thing that would bring us to the next level, because our defensive record's always been sensational. It always has been since the Evans era promotion season, it's always been exceptional. So it's just building really, but it's brilliant to see how this has taken us so far, this defensive record. It's just whether we can push on from now, if we can sort out those weaknesses in January. If we do, we should be in good stead for the second half of the season, I think.
Amazing. Right. On that note, I'm going to wrap us all up, gentlemen, if that's okay with you. Thank you all so much for your comments, your questions, and taking time out of your evening on your Christmas period, New Year period, wherever the hell this period is now between Christmas and New Year. But thank you all for tuning in. Guys, those of you who haven't already done so, make sure, I highly recommend you check out Luca on TikTok, Stevenage _Luca. I swear to God, like his in-depth analysis is spot on. I know. So have you got a preview and a review coming out of the game, or tomorrow, or Monday rather?
The deep dive I did for the reverse, and then I do a post-match reaction afterwards, about an hour or so after the game, just discussing key points, what the opposition did well. Obviously, I'll touch on that. But for anyone who hasn't checked out my preview, it's heavily focused on the opposition. So your players, your form, come up against us, what our strengths and weaknesses are, everything you'd really expect. Anything in depth, if anyone fancies that, it's all on my TikTok page, and I put it in written form across all the platforms. So if anyone wants to check that out, feel free, would be much appreciated. And yeah, that'll be dropping tomorrow. All my previews will be dropping tomorrow on all platforms for the game.
Sweet. Yeah, highly recommend checking out, guys. Generally, one of the most in-depth analysis of teams and matches I've ever seen. So it's class-based. So all the best for the rest of that. And I have no doubt we'll be in contact in the future anyway, mate, with various things. Reese, as always, pleasure. Lovely to see you all. But without further ado, before I forget, after the stream finishes, guys, get your predictions in if you haven't done so already, so we can take a little look at those after the stream's ended. But yeah, I'm not sure when I'm back. Sometime in the foreseeable, but nice one, Paul. But yeah, good night, God bless, and goodbye, my friends.
This channel is powered by an incredible membership community on Cardiff City World and patreon.com/AcePodcastNation. Becoming a member unlocks exclusive rewards from early access to live event tickets, bonus content, and even the occasional inside transfer scoop when we get it. But more importantly, it allows us to bring you top quality Cardiff City content 7 days a week. Across those 7 days, we're talking match previews, exclusive interviews, instant match reactions, the breakdown podcast, tactical deep dives, the Spotlight series, Bluebirds Rewind, Academy Focus, and just so much more. Led by myself, backed by an army of passionate Cardiff City fans, this is content created by fans, for fans, balanced, professional, and 100% all about the club we all love. If you enjoy what we do, then join the community today and support what we are doing as we help to keep Cardiff City World flying high.